Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here from HumboldtCraftworks. It's a beautiful foggy day here in Humboldt County, California. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make a countertop for a little tiny kitchen that I'm working on in Trinidad. It's 25 inches wide and 1.5 inches thick. And we're going to make the entire thing. I'm going to go show you how to do it from start to finish. So today on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin, we're going to make a maple countertop, 1.5 inches thick by 25 inches deep, for a little tiny U-shaped kitchen I'm working on in Trinidad. I had 2 questions for the designer, 2 questions. Seam or no seam? So we have no seam with the grain going like this, or we have seamed, right? With the seam right behind the sink, which is kind of a bad spot, but there is a faucet there and I'm gonna glue it. So the first thing we did was make this little plan, okay? And we got approval for this one right here. And that's what we're gonna do. All right, so the second thing I did after sent that off to get approved was I made templates. I got it, hold on. Oh, golly. All right, so what I do is I make a template and I put labels on it. So you can say it says the sink's there and this is the wall and this side goes out, okay? So I got the 25 inch, so I know my 25 inch is my 25 inch because that's what my countertop needs to be. And if the back wall's out of whack, I just make it out of whack so I can basically scribe it in the shop and not so much on site. So all those little things are all hot glued together. Gadzooks, I'm losing everything. Hot glued together, so, and it look like this. So there's the skinny one, the one next to the stove, the right and left, and this one over here. This all has measurements in blue, okay? So it says right here, template sizes. Template sizes are in blue. Wow. So all these dimensions here that I got that are, 65 and 11/16, 66, and all these came off my templates. I didn't measure the wall. I put these on the cabinets themselves, pushed everything around until they were 25 deep, and then however they fit, and then I took measurements from the templates and wrote them on here. So always when you're starting out with butcher blocks, you always make everything, like I've said a million times, and if you see my other videos, you know I've said it. I have. I make them longer than you need and wider than you need. These butcher blocks are going to be 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches roughly, but to get something at 25 inches, you have to do math. So if you want to get 25 exactly, okay, you need to figure out how wide they need to be to add up, boom, boom, boom. So mine are 16 by 1 5/8 will make 26. So 16 of these rips at 1 5/8 wide will make a board that's 26 inches wide. All right, I've got 2 problems. My planer only goes to 15. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue it up and I'm gonna go 8 boards deep, okay, and then another 8 boards deep, and then I'm gonna plane them to size, and then I'm gonna rip them down, I'm gonna glue them back together. And then it'll be 25, and I'll just sand the seam. I do that on all sorts of things, and if you have a very small shop and don't know anybody with a 30-inch planer, which is kind of a rare thing, or a time saver, and I do have friends with time savers, and I just don't want to spend the time going over there to do it. I could just sand it just as fast. And we'll go over all that. You've seen me do it a million times. So there's the cut list. Everything needs 16 by 1 5/8, and when they're in parentheses like that, it means it's oversized, all right? So when it comes to milling, the first thing we do when we're milling, and I guess I'm gonna have to go back and forth because I'm skipping all over the place, is first we cross-cut everything to manageable pieces. So here's what I cut them into. So something that might help other people, which I do quite often, because I need to know how many I've ripped, is I label my boards. You see that right here? So everything needs 16 rips, and I know what number I'm on by adding up as I'm ripping. So I start, if one can get 4, then I write 4. This board I can get 5, so 4 plus 5 is 9, so I'd write 9 on the board. blah, 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 until I got to 16, and then I wouldn't cut that size anymore. And I'd cross it off in yellow. Cross it off in yellow that it is rough milled. Okay, and remember, it gets green when it's completely milled. That means it's ripped to 1.5 inches by 1 5/8, and then it's put over there ready to glue up. All right. So this is the 36. I got a 30, and I got these 70-inch ones, which are ridiculous. But you always want to cut everything to size because maple's kind of heavy and it's thick, and it's easy to run through the table saw when it's not 12 feet long. Okay. So you've seen the cut list. There's the cut list. That's what I have. All right, and then there are the silly little tiny plans that I draw. I would do this every time so I don't forget what's what. So you've seen the tune up the table saw video, which is up here, and then there's a waxing video somewhere else, how to wax your tools over here, and all those silly things. And what we're going to do now is I'm just going to set up on the table saw, and I'm going to start ripping these things down. This part here needs to be 1.5 inches thick, and I'm actually going to start out my first rip after I've joined this edge is going to be 1 3/4. And that's just to see how the wood reacts. But you want to give yourself room when you're making butcher blocks, especially, to take the curve and the warp and the twist out of the boards, because when you go to glue it up, you want them as flat and as smooth as possible, especially when you're doing boards that are 70 inches long and 25 inches deep. So I'm going to mill all this up, and we'll see you shortly. So here's all the wood. It's all been cross-cut to manageable lengths. All right, there's the 12-inch stuff. I got the 36-inch stuff like right here, and I got the 70-inch right here. Oh God, it weighs a ton. I wonder how much each board weighs. We should measure that, huh? This board weighs 26 pounds. 26 pounds. Let's see what this little guy weighs. This one weighs 7 pounds. So when you're milling wood, you get a little bit of a workout. Just make sure you wear a mask so you're not sucking dust and running your lungs. We're going to join some wood now and mill and rip and get all sweaty. All right, enjoy. Bye. So a little two-tip Tuesday tip, even though it's not a Tuesday. And I'll get to doing one of those one of these days because, yeah, I've just been busy. Make sure if you're using your joiner a lot that you take it and you move it from front to back from every now and then. So let's say you mill a little pile of boards. The next time you mill some boards, pull it a little closer if you can, or push it way back farther. So yeah, just move it around every now and then if you can. And if you ever have to mill any plywood or join a piece of plywood, push it all the way to the back and use way back here. Plywood's got all sorts of nasty things in it, like knots and crap and glue. So join to the back. I got my mask on, got my music on, magic button. So this thing has been going for 16 minutes. It took me 16 minutes to mill up 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 23 boards. 23 boards, 16 minutes. Double jointed some of them because there was a little crown in it, or there was a piece that I didn't want on there. So, and next thing we do is run through the table saw at 1 3/4 and then try to make it as flat as possible. So I think I'm done for the day. It's 5 o'clock, and we'll continue with this tomorrow morning. So if you ever wanted to build yourself a butcher block countertop, this is how you go about doing it. You know, mill everything to manageable sizes, something you can lift and not have to shove through the saw that's 12 feet long. Well, I hope this was helpful to some of you. You know, not everybody gets a chance to do what I do, and I'm grateful every day that I get to build weird things. And this is not really a weird thing, it's just something new, and if you don't do it every day, it's good to see somebody else do it. So I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. That's the way it goes, you know. It's just, I've been doing it for a long time, but it's not that hard. Woodworking is just a matter of following a few simple rules, knowing your math, and not freaking out about weird things. That's it. So, all right, people. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, you know, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, fling, fling, bang, bang. Tell all your friends, share it with the world, and yeah, I'll see you soon. And thanks a lot for watching this video. You have an awesome day. Go outside and play. Hug somebody you love. And be safe out there. I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me, right here on the YouTubes. All right, we'll see you soon, and have some butt juice. All right. Oh look, I left a butt mark on the saw. Oh my God, I need a rag. Did you hear that? Sounded like a barking spider. Well, another two-tip Tuesday thing is that if you've been working and you got a little sweaty and you're wearing these kind of waterproof pants sort of things, don't sit on your table saw and leave a butt mark, because it'll rust. That ain't no good. How's that? Did you hear that? It was a good one? Yeah, it was a good one, right? Yeah. I'm steaming up my glasses again. Luke. So as we go to cut this board, I'm bored with the situation. I'm leaving.